So my process really depends on the project. I usually start off by reading and researching, and then an idea will formulate from that research. For the project that I'm working on currently, the books that I've been reading is The Origin of Consciousness and the Breakdown of the Bicameral Mind, and The Archetypes and the Collective Unconscious. And these both led me to thinking about an umbrella theme of the idea of dream, but more so pertaining to illusion and ethereality and meditation or meditative states. So once I do research and start thinking about ideas, you'll see in my work that I tend to use a bunch of smaller fragmented pieces, and then I will combine and collage them all together to make a larger piece. I was also thinking about combining the pieces and maybe having them hang from the ceiling. I'm not sure. I use a lot of thread in my work as well, stitching. So I was thinking about potentially having thread hanging from the ceiling and coming down through the pieces and maybe connecting them so they kind of spin and move in the space so people can see 360 degrees of it. I feel like I've had a lot of different experiences in my life, a lot of unknown and trying to fit the pieces together. So I think that's where collage comes in. I look at life as a collage. It's a collection of experiences that we put together to try to understand our identity and the external world around us. And the stitching came into play through this work, actually, when I stitched my own face on my father's. I think a lot about human ancestry. I think a lot about my own identity through my family's lineage. And it feels like a physical, tactical way that I can bond myself to people in my family to try to understand who I am and who they are and have a deeper understanding of all that is. I started to move on to performative self-portraiture, and it started by looking at my relationship with my dad, who I knew who he was, but I didn't really meet him until I was 19. So our relationship was pretty broken throughout the years. I was doing a lot of mending and breaking, shooting digital photography, and then using analog collage methods to mend them back together. So this is an image of myself, and then this is my father when he was about 12 years old, and I'm about 31 in this photo. I was also looking at photography as a medium, and I shot this with my digital camera. His is obviously film, and then I also have my iPhone in my hand along with his original image down here to kind of give the overview of everything that's going on. I use art for healing in most of my work. I moved in with my grandmother in June of last year, and she was in a car accident and passed away on November 30th of last year as well. And I'm still in the house, still taking care of it while everything's being taken care of. But I've been in the basement and going through her family archive and just looking at the things that she's kept throughout her life that are important to her. And my grandfather as well, he also died in a car accident 18 years ago. So just kind of trying to put myself in her shoes. I'm exploring this idea of Sonder as well. It's kind of like a made-up word. I guess all words are made up, but it's from this website called the Dictionary of Obscure Sorrows, and this guy goes about and makes up words for words that we don't have in the English language that expresses some kind of feeling or emotion. And Sonder is essentially the realization that every individual on Earth has a story that's as unique and complex as your own, and that you yourself are the main character of your story. Everyone's the main character, of their own story, but you don't realize how many times you're in the background of other people's stories, like driving down the street or sitting in a coffee shop. So I'm exploring this idea of me telling her story from what I see through the archive, and thinking about the installation as bringing other random strangers into that story. I don't really like to set too many expectations or limitations on what a viewer sees or feels when they take in the work. But I guess that I'm thinking about family and connection and healing and loss and grief, and with the installation part of it, thinking about how the viewer might move through it, how they might witness all the different pieces and their different structures. And more than anything, I just hope that they can connect and find some piece of themselves within the story that I'm sharing with them. I feel really lucky to have the people in my life that I have. We've all been through a lot, especially over these past years, and I've been able to count on my family and friends for love and support, connection, just talking. I'm really excited to see how it's going to translate into this gallery, and I'm also excited to meet the community and get their take on it and hear some of their stories and see how they relate.